Hey guys, hope you're well. Okay, this is a video about self-protection training, mainly situational awareness training. Okay, I'll just give you a quick backstory on my personal experience with self-protection training. Began in my late teens. The reason why I got into self-protection training was because I wanted to be big and tough, because I was scared and lacked assertiveness and I was bullied. So I just wanted to, intimidate people, have the demeanor to intimidate people, or have the physical skills to beat people up if I wanted to. Now, of course, things happened in my life. I grew, I changed, and but just became more concerned with just general self-protection. After a while, I realized that the highest form of self-protection training really is situational awareness training, with the twin pillar of self-awareness. You need to be aware of what signals you're giving off to people. So this is a video about situational awareness training. And so the first aspect of situational awareness training is learning to spot criminals' patterns of behavior. I advise everyone to do this as the as the first way of training your situational awareness. And the way you do this is by watching things like Crime Watch UK, or reading victims' personal accounts of of violent crimes, how it happened. Watch CCTV footage on YouTube, or other relevant sites of how with robberies and attacks, things like this. And after a while, you'll be able to spot you'll have to be able to get your own personal model of like criminal behavior. I have my own personal model. You may not like it, you may see flaws in it, whatever, it doesn't matter. This is my personal one. I'll just give it to people who may just want to use it, may just want to use it. Okay, so the first one is target selection. Criminals will scout and identify a potential target. So they assess the potential target by like verbal and non-verbal demeanor. So they'll maybe even go up to you and talk to you, just to suss you out, which they'll also be looking for non-verbal signals, or they'll just non-verbally just look at you as you're walking by them or across the street or whatever. They'll be looking for things like lack of situational awareness, lack of assertiveness, or the potential for a lack of assertiveness, false bravado in your demeanor. Like, you pretend, you're puffing your chest out, pretending to be tough when you're not. You won't stand up for yourself, or you'll crumble in the face of intimidation or aggression, or they'll assess you. Are you someone you think is gonna put them at risk of being caught for what they're doing? Like, you're gonna maybe make noise, or you're gonna make things unnecessarily difficult, or will they maybe even get in, or you're someone who's gonna put up a fight and injure them in the process, like some really large guy, and you're by yourself. The criminal's by themselves. They may think, forget that. And next pattern of criminal behavior is tracking. They attempt to track the target. So they'll make an ongoing assessment of the target. They'll do that by looking at you, using their other senses like hearing. They'll use their peripheral vision also. They may not look directly at you, but they'll still be watching you, or just following you. The next one is next one is blocking exits. Criminals will position themselves to block a possible exit from the situation, or they'll do things to prevent a possible exit from the situations. Often criminals will work in groups, so one will approach you from the front, and the other one will approach you from behind, or they'll just surround you, or they'll trap you in a room. This is what date rape happens a lot. Is you go into a room, they lock the door, or they'll just hold you down. Just holding someone is a way of blocking their exit, or simply just incapacitate you with fear. Like, they'll just put a knife to your back. They may not even be holding you, but they'll say, if you move, I'll kill you. And they're just, your fear is keeping you there. I'm not saying you can escape unharmed, but what is keeping you there is not them physically holding you. It's your fear of what they're going to do. So how can you train your situational awareness after that stage, after identifying criminals' patterns of behavior, or you've established a model? Well, some exercises I use personally, or maybe I don't use a couple of these, but I find them useful, is that First one I would say is practice using your peripheral vision. Practicing looking at one point and using the corner of your eyes. Like if you're in your bedroom now, or wherever you're watching this video or listening to this video, just just look at the corner of your eye right now. Keep focus on one point. Just look at the corner of your eye. What can you see? What can you see above you, below you, diagonally? What is clear? What's out of focus? Just focus on doing this, and do this as you're walking down the street. Do this when you're in nature. That's really great when you're in nature, and and this is outside of self-protection, but it really opens up to the beauty of nature to me, because when you use your peripheral vision, you'll see trees simultaneously. You'll see little animals moving around you, or maybe trying to creep in a way that doesn't get them noticed, and you'll also see the stars above you, and you'll see this simultaneously. You won't focus on one or the other, and it'll be really beautiful sight. But anyway, I'm digressing. The next way is I don't use this, but some people may like it. Is like commentary walking, which is exactly the same as commentary driving, which is something they do for like police, for like tactical driving courses. They'll make them narrate out loud what they're doing. So let's say I'm driving down this particular street, suspect is driving a red Ford, and I'm approaching the suspect. They've now taken off at high speed. I'm following the suspect round the roundabout, and I'm looking to my left to assess something else, and they'll just talk about what they're doing. After a while, this becomes subconscious, and it'll just heighten your awareness. I don't personally use this, but some people may like that. Number three, is the bang exercise. This is a really fun one. Is that imagine a loud noise or something startling or threatening has occurred from a particular direction. Then look for a potential cover. You can can duck behind and assess the situation, and then a way that you can escape using cover. I've got this exercise from Mark McYoung, and he points out it's a great exercise because you'll be able to, while your loved one is in shock or thinking what the hell is going on, you're grabbing them and heading for the nearest cover so you can get your way out of the situation safely. So an example of doing this will be if you're walking down the street and just imagine something bang coming to you from your left, whatever, starting a situation or something's happened, and then you duck behind a car, look at the situation, what's going on. If you think you need to get out of there, the situation, then you can look for ways to escape using cover. You don't have to physically do this when you're out, but you just think, if something happened, I could duck behind that car, then I could run down the alley to try and get away from what's going on. Okay, number 4 is practice spotting situations you're heading into where exits are severely limited or obscured, meaning like alleys, back rooms, corridors, etc. Say if you're in a room and you don't know the people in there and they know each other, and think if they block that door, I wouldn't be able to get out. Or if you're in an alley, you're thinking, well, there's an exit to the front of me, exit to the back of me. If two people came, one person went in front of me, one person went behind, I'll be trapped. Obviously, it depends on the context, but these situations are dangerous, but of course it depends on the context, like anything. Number 5 is think like a criminal. Imagine while you're out walking alone in a crowd, think who would you pick as a potential target, and how would you track them, how would you watch them, and also then what point would you what would make you pick them as a target. Really think about that, how they're standing, their demeanor, vibes they're giving off, whatever. Just think what would make them a target, and then think or maybe it just be the point that they've walked into a place where there's no exits, and and not only that, they don't have situational awareness. And just be aware of this, because then you'll start to think, well, that person's doing that, maybe they're a target, am I doing those things as well? So it's a very useful tool for training your awareness. And I do these things. So those are all the ways that I do it. Those are the 5 ways that I would give. And I do these things while walking my dog. Those are the times when I train these things. I don't say that everybody, we don't have to do it all the time. We don't have to be paranoid. But this is just a way of training. Like any skill, just like a physical self-protection skills, like learning how to punch, kick, headbutt, whatever. You have to practice them regularly. And the more you practice them, the more your skill level goes up, and the more efficient you'll be at doing it. And eventually it'll become an unconscious habit. And that's the point. You want it to the point where it's unconscious. I'll just quickly tell you. I was in a situation where I was walking down the street with a friend of mine, and then we're just having a conversation. I noticed at the corner of my eye a car slowing down and someone looking directly at me. And I thought, okay. And then they came around the corner and continued still looking at me. And I noticed this at the corner of my eye. And I said to my friend, look up, man, I think there might be something. And he slowed down and stopped, literally just in front of us. And then he wound down the window, and I thought, oh crap, something's going to happen. And I was just as they stopped, we were walking by, and I looked into, I looked down at his lap in case he was pulling out something, and then we just carried on walking. And, nothing happened, thank God. I think maybe they just thought I was a drug dealer because I was a black guy in a, I was a black guy in a bad neighborhood. So they probably just thought I was a drug dealer and wanted drugs off me. But, something potentially could have happened. But, because it became an unconscious habit, I was able to see a danger. Maybe I should have just ran away, but I just made sure I stared directly into their lap so they knew that I was aware of anything they were going to do. And if they did pull out anything, I would have ran without hesitation. Okay, so I just say, situational awareness is very important, and you need to train it, just like you need to train physical skills. You'll see a lot of self-protection systems or instructors will say, Krav Maga and all these things will say, we teach people to gouge our eyes, and our system is about living and, survive in the streets. We don't care about competitions, and, we're reality based. But if they're not teaching situational awareness skills, if they're not teaching you, training you how to heighten your situational awareness and your self-awareness skills, then it's not really self-protection. Okay, so you don't have to be paranoid, you just have to be aware. Okay guys, so take care and God bless.